U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations Samantha Power arrives in Ebola-stricken Guinea today. It's the first stop on her visit to the three countries in West Africa, Guinea, Liberia, and Sierra Leone, that have been hardest hit by the deadly virus. Joining me now is Susan Johnson-Cook. She is the former U.S. Ambassador at Large for International Religious Freedom. She's been the faith advisor to two presidents, and she joins me here this morning. Ambassador, thanks for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me.
What is sort of the mission for Ms. Power at this point? What is she hoping to accomplish?
Well, first of all, let me send my thoughts and prayers to the presidents of those countries and to the people of those nations and to the ambassadors who are there, my colleagues. You know, her mission is to make sure that there's attention brought to this issue, that we might find some healing, some solution for healing. So I think it's courageous, number one. And number two, you know, had this epidemic happen in another nation, another continent, I think we would have been on it a lot quicker. So the people of Africa are concerned, the people of America who have African relatives are concerned, and so we're very thankful that she's making this mission.
And Power wants other countries to step in and help with the fight. How will this trip help with that?
Well, you know, the U.S. leads, and people follow our lead in so many respects. So we're taking the courageous act. Other countries, we call it a full court press. Everything needs to happen now so that we can really bring an end to this epidemic and bring some healing to not only their nations, but to the entire world. It's here now, you know, as well. And if we can find solutions in America to help some Americans, then why can't we begin to multiply that effect?
Now, you've lived in Ghana. You traveled to Liberia last year. What are the lessons that the U.S. can learn about how to fight this incredible virus?
Well, you know, I'm not part of the CDC nor a part of the medical profession, but I know that we can begin using all of the resources we have at hand. We have some of the greatest doctors in the world. We have some of the greatest solutions. So I think we need to partner with the CDC and with other nations who have medical professionals who are equivalent and begin to say, what can we do to end this epidemic?
Now, Power is traveling to West Africa while top lawmakers are calling for a travel ban on flights from there because of the Ebola outbreak. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, you know, the ban hasn't happened totally in terms of all the states of America, but since it has come to our continent, we need to be able to find out what is the source of it. So her traveling is the beginning of saying the U.S. is not giving up, but we're actually providing hope. And I think that's what America really represents around the world. We're the hope nation, and it does begin with us.
Now, I want to switch gears and talk about the shooting in Washington State. Police say a teenage gunman opened fire on his classmates. You're a pastor and a parent. What can we do to prevent tragedies like this? You know, many people talk about the parental involvement. It's so theoretical. What exactly does that mean?
Yeah, I mean, we have to move beyond theory. When I talked about a full court press, it means a full court press now. Before I went into government as U.S. Ambassador, I was a pastor for 3 decades in New York's inner city. So I've had my, you know, front line, and so we do need to do a full court press. What it means is that all of us, it does take a village to really raise a child. It's not just parents and it's not government's responsibility, but it's all of us working together. There's a role for faith leaders, and faith leaders play a really important role because it's the only consistent place in a community where people come together. When I was in school, there used to be release time for Catholic students and Jewish students after school where they would go and they learn their heritage, but they also learn about their faith. Faith leaders have to move in, but there's also a role for corporate America. Why not adopt a school or adopt a community and begin to do those resources? They used to have this loan executive program for fledgling nonprofits. Well, make a loan executive program for our schools where we begin to bring some real resources. There's so tremendous wealth in the United States. We bring the resources of corporate America and others who have it and begin to help a community. So it takes all of us. Parental involvement, though, is very important.
But you see these school shootings. I mean, they're really amplified. After Newtown, even, you thought that, you know, hey, maybe this would have been a wake-up call. But since then, in the 18 months, there have been, what, more than 70 school shootings? What's happening here?
Well, when I was a pastor, one of the things I saw was that there's a tremendous amount of mental illness that often goes undetected and often goes ignored. We've got to begin to put a grip on this, get a grip on this. There needs to be counseling prior to school. There needs to be counseling certainly after tragedies such as this. I mean, not just grief counseling, but to begin to get a tap on it. We also have raised a disconnected generation. With technology now, they're disconnected. They're not talking to parents and not even talking to each other. So we really can't monitor what's on those mobile devices and what's on the computers, but what we can monitor is what happens in our home, setting some boundaries. Kids will rebel against it and push against it. I have 2 teenagers myself. myself, but they want boundaries because you have to have some rules. There have to be some things that are in
Take
effect.
the Twitter account away, take the phone away,
Exactly,
do it.
and put some limits on it.
Right.
When we were growing up, it was limits on TV. You can't watch TV till homework's done. You have to watch certain shows, but you have to do the certain things. So boundaries are important. Parental involvement, having a meal with your children, setting meal times, spending some significant time showing up at their parent-teacher involvement, also showing up at their games. I mean, my kids, I was the busiest mom, but they would look up and they would see me in the stands at their basketball game. That settled their whole
And they
thing.
know you cared.
They know I care. So
All
it's
right.
about time for caring.
All right, Susan Johnson Cook, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Victor.